Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to try a new pattern. It is a free pattern that I got on the moodfabrics website. This is what it looks like. It's the rosette tie front top. So I already printed my pattern on A4 paper and assembled it off camera. It's all taped up and ready to go. Now, instead of cutting directly into my original pattern, I'm going to trace my size onto a plastic sheet. My weight tends to fluctuate, so I like keeping the original intact. This way, if I ever need another size, I don't have to reprint everything. For the fabric, I'm using this gorgeous embroidered eyelet with the scalloped edge. I only have about 1.5 meters, which honestly isn't a lot, so I'll need to play around with the layout to make it all fit. I'll go figure that out off camera and be right back. Okay, so I started by cutting my bottom tiers, making sure to use the scalloped edge as my hem. That saves me time later since I don't need to finish the edge. I'll be honest, it took a lot of tweaking and rotating pieces to make everything fit, but I finally found the perfect layout. I also decided to add puffy sleeves to this top. The sleeve pattern is from Unfettered Patterns. I'll link them down below if you'd like to add the same sleeves. Now, after cutting the bottom tiers, I had some scalloped edge left over, and I thought, why not use it for the front bodice too? That way I don't need a lining, which is a nice little shortcut. Since I didn't have a lot of fabric, I had to add a center seam at the back of the bodice. Alright, let's move on to sewing. The very first step is sewing the darts. When you're sewing the darts, always start at the outer edge and sew towards the tip. Once you reach the tip, don't backstitch, just tie off your threads by hand. It keeps the dart looking so much neater. Then, don't forget to press them down flat. Now, before serging my seams, I wanted to share something I recently discovered. I always had this annoying problem where little fabric scraps from the serger ended up all over my floor. But then I found this sewing mat on Temu that comes with a small basket that I placed underneath my serger. It catches all the scraps as you serge. Honestly, it's such a game changer for keeping my workspace tidy. So I thought, why not share this tip with you? Next, I stitched the back center seam since my bodice had been cut in 2 pieces. If your back bodice was cut on the fold, you can totally skip this step and move straight into the next one. After that, I sewed the front and back bodice pieces together at the shoulder seams, so the top started coming together. Next, I moved on to the ruching. I sewed 2 parallel rows of stitches and then gently pulled on the threads to gather the fabric. Always check that your gathered piece lines up with the bodice before securing it. I double checked mine and it fit perfectly. Once you're happy, just tie the threads in a knot to hold everything in place. Now, I did run into a little issue. I cut my front bodice with the scalloped edge, but I didn't do the same for my bottom tier. To fix it, I hem the side edge of the tier before pinning it to the bodice. A little extra step, but it worked out fine. Then I sewed the sides together. After that, I attached the sleeves. I hemmed them and added a 1/2 centimeter elastic around the cuffs for that cute puffy finish. I just pinned down the sleeve to the armhole. At this point I had no fabric left for straps, so I improvised and used some white bias tape. I folded it in half to create straps and also used it to finish the neckline. And here's the final result. I really love how this top turned out. It's so light, feminine, and summery. The only thing I'm not totally sold on are the straps. The white bias tape looks just a bit too bright against the fabric. I might change them later, but for now I'm really happy with it. Overall, this pattern was such a joy to work with. It's beginner friendly, straightforward, and gives a really lovely result. I can definitely see myself making more versions of this top in different fabrics. And that's it for today's sewing project. I really enjoyed making this front tie top, and I hope you picked up some tips along the way. Also, I'd really love to hear from you. What sewing project would you like to see next? Drop your ideas in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and subscribe if you want more sewing projects. Thanks so much for hanging out and sewing with me today, and